What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where we do have a lot of big topics to discuss. Firstly, Barcelona's two main summer targets for this summer are, according to reports, Joao Kimmich and a left winger from Seria A, but all roads lead to Rafael Leao being the player. We will give you guys the updates on both their potential moves to Barcelona this summer. Also on Barcelona wanting to keep both Joaos beyond this season. We do now have officially the plan of what Barcelona want to execute in order to keep Cancelo and Felix at Barcelona next season. Huge renewal update on Frenkie de Jong's future at the club as well. Barcelona have presented him an offer, and it's now down to Frenkie de Jong to make a decision. If he does accept it, of course he will stay, and if not, the club will look to move him on this summer. And finally, in regards to the candidates for the managerial position in the summer at Barcelona, we are now down to three main names in Roberto De Zerbi, Hansi Flick, and Thomas Tuchel, and I will give you guys the reasons why it will be a German manager being the new Barcelona manager. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by LU Soccer. LU Soccer is one of the most versatile replica jersey websites on the market. They have a variety of different items from different clubs, from CONCACAF, Seria A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1. They have a jersey from any country, any league basically in the world, and of course they do have some Barcelona merchandise. I do have here two items they have sent me, which I think is absolutely fantastic. One is this limited edition black kit. I believe this was a concept. It looks absolutely beautiful. Of course, it has the Spotify logo there, and also this one is what caught my eye the most. It is this kind of retro. It has the first ever badge for Barcelona in the middle there as well. It looks so sick, and they have different options very similar to this one for all different clubs and country. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and check out LU Soccer today for the best prices and also the best quality. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, there's been a lot of news around Barcelona, but not around pivot signings. We're getting a bit of recycled news, but concrete recycled news, and it is on Joao Kimmich being one of the options to reinforce Barcelona's pivot position this summer. Now, Gerardo Romero has come out saying that we will soon hear a lot about Kimmich's future in regards to being linked with Barcelona. I mean, this is so degrading, man. Like, we've been saying on the channel for a very long time, and I've seen a lot of people as well on social media say it, that Kimmich just ain't it, bruv. Like, yes, great player, cracking player, but my god, as a single pivot, he ain't gonna cut it. Unless a new manager's gonna come in and play a double pivot, maybe a double pivot of Joao Kimmich and Frenkie de Jong. Could work, but on the philosophy that we want to base our play on, I'm not quite too sure. But he also adds this: I have the feeling that this summer things will happen between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. This is his opinion, of course, but Gerardo Romero's opinion is something to take note of. What did I tell you about Araujo, man? I told you, man, the links, the sources in Uruguay are there, and I'm telling you, I have a very strong feeling that Barcelona are going to let Araujo go to Bayern Munich for maybe Kimmich plus cash, maybe De Ligt plus cash, or just straight cash in general. But looks like Barcelona are keeping an eye on Joao Kimmich for the pivot position. He could be that main target. Of course, it's always been either Kimmich or Zubamendi. Kimmich is going to the final year of his contract with Bayern Munich. No renewal talks have taken place in any capacity whatsoever, so he will be available for a fair price. I would say hopefully in the region of 40 to 50 million euros. I think as soon as he goes over 50, you switch your bags over to Zubamendi, for who is, younger, fits the mold and style better, and he's going to be around the same price tag as well. We also been linked again with Joan Laporta, the pivot from Almeria. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Almeria will refer to Lopez's release clause of 40 million euros if Barcelona approach them this summer. Now, Almeria are going to get relegated, so ain't no way in hell they're going to only refer to his release clause. That for me is bogus. If you're getting relegated, you need funds, so of course keep everything in check. I think if Barcelona offer 10 million, 20 million, or maybe any other club offer that same amount, they probably would accept it. Apparently, Almeria also want 20% of any future sale as well, along with the release clause. I mean, 40 million can get you Joao Kimmich, and you want to go for Joan Laporta. I mean, Get that out of my face. But in regards to Kimmich, keep your eyes on it. The momentum is building for him to being the main target for the pivot position this summer. I hope that's not the case. And again, it does depend on who the new manager is going to be. We'll talk about the new manager at the end of the video. But if it is a German who used to coach Bayern Munich, I mean, the stars do align. So we'll wait and see in that regards. But it looks like Kimmich will have his future being linked with Barcelona over the next few months. Now, the strangest link over the past 48 hours has been the links linking Mario Hermoso to Barcelona. Now, Hermoso, of course, starting center back, starting in defense period for Atletico Madrid the entirety of the season, and he will be a free agent this summer. And Gerardo Romero has come out saying that Barcelona has been monitoring the contract situation of Mario Hermoso for a long time now. The defender is a free agent in the summer as things currently stand. Now, Mateo Merito from Relevo, very close to Atletico Madrid, came out saying that Barcelona is unlikely to make a move for Mario Hermoso this summer. Again, great player. We've been linked a lot with him in the past as well, but back when we had Griezmann doing swap deals, there was always his name being included, maybe Renan Lodi or whatever the case may be. He's having a great season with Atletico Madrid. Araujo, Koundé, Christensen, Inigo, Eric Garcia, Taman Langley, Kubarsi, Mikal Fay. There's 8 center backs for you right there. 8. And you are looking to bring another one in. Get that out of my face. And possibly bringing with the lit as well. Possibly him and Araujo switching teams as well. This is not going to be on Barcelona's radar. This might just be links here and there. Maybe if, things go tits up in the defense, he might maybe target him. But I wouldn't see him making that move from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona as well, unless he's going to be a starting center back at Barcelona. But we'll see how things turn out in that sense. I think more so Barcelona like the player's profile, what he's about, his versatility in the defense as well. And the club might like him, but I think the transfer is very unlikely. Now, the most positive news for me over the past 48 hours has been the links about Barcelona pursuing the signing of a top left winger this summer. As we all know, I would say alongside a pivot, another one that we really need to get this summer is a left winger. And Gerardo Romero has come out saying that I've spoken to an Italian agent earlier this morning. This was, of course, yesterday. I've been told that Barcelona is monitoring a winger's play in the Serie A. So apparently Barcelona are tracking a winger in Serie A. He did mention that it was an Italian player. That's all he said. So they play in Serie A. They're not Italian. He did not name drop the name whatsoever. But of course, the first name that comes into everyone's head, including the media, is of course Rafael Leao. Sport came out afterwards saying that Joan Laporta wants to sign a big star this summer, and Rafael Leao is the first priority. Barcelona believe that he can make a suitable offer to AC Milan. He wants to play in La Liga or the Premier League. Now, he does have a 150 million euro release clause at AC Milan, but they're apparently as broke as we are. If we offer maybe around 60 or 70, they might take the bait. I will say this though, you can see in that first line, of course Sport, not too reliable in the sense, but that first line wants to sign a big star this summer, and Rafael Leao is the first priority. How in the flying frig is a pivot not our first priority and big star signing? I mean, if you want to get the entire fan base back on the side of Joan Laporta and Deco, you want the fan base to have a big, enthusiasm, big remontada on how we're feeling, you go and sign a top pivot. There is nothing else that will change that, because Pep Guardiola ain't coming back and being the manager of Barcelona. Neither is Luis Enrique. So you're going to get some mediocre or decent manager. Nothing will rise this fan base up, back the team, confidence, momentum going into next season, than signing a top pivot. I will guarantee you that. Even if we sign Mbappe out of free, of course people will be hype about it, so would I, but I would be more excited if we signed Zubimendi or, hypothetically speaking, Rodri than Mbappe, 100%. And I think the club are missing out on that. Hopefully there's going to be something there. Again, Rafael Leao, I think he's a great player. Spending upwards of 60, 70 million on him, I think is a fair evaluation for the player, but I'd rather be spending that on a pivot first. If we spend that money on a pivot, we have that money afterwards, fair enough, go for it. But for spending that money ahead of a pivot, for me, that is a no-go. You've also been linked with another forward as well very quickly, and that is Benjamin Sesko. We didn't have the greatest of nights last night against Real Madrid, with Moises Lawrence from ESPN saying that Benjamin Sesko is a striker that Barcelona have been following closely for the past few seasons, maybe just one on the radar, so to speak. I don't think Barcelona right now are too keen on a striker. We have Marguiu, Victor Roque, Lewandowski as well, with the new manager coming in. And my favorite, Lewandowski to stay for an extra season or two. So I think Sesko will be happening in the next few transfer windows, January's and summers ahead. But on the left winger, we'll wait and see who the name is. I think Jordan will probably drop it hopefully in the next few days. It probably will be Rafael Leao. His agent is Jorge Mendes. That just makes the operation 50 times easier for Barcelona, but we'll see how things turn out. But no doubt Barcelona this summer need to reinforce that left wing position. Now, without a doubt, one of the main targets for Barcelona very early on in the transfer window will of course be the future of the two Joaos. As we all know, they're both on loan, not permanent players, but the club are planning on making both these deals continue on to next season. We've heard a lot of reports about the two Joaos over recent months, how, Cancelo pretty much guaranteed. The big question was about Joao Felix. Joao came out saying that this is the plan for Barcelona for the two Joaos. Firstly, they do want to sign Cancelo permanently for around 15 to 20 million euros. There are also reports addition to this saying that Man City don't want to keep Cancelo next summer by any means necessary. They want to get rid of him. Again, they're willing to negotiate with Barcelona. And of course, Cancelo wanting to stay in Barcelona will give us a massive, massive advantage. But for Joao Felix, extending the loan for another year. Listen, Joao Felix's future for me depends more so on who we want to sign and who we can sign in that left wing department. If we can bring in Rafael Leao, does Joao Felix have a chance? And do not forget, we do have Ansu Fati returning from loan from Brighton. That is an option, in my opinion, to reinforce the left wing department. With Felix, I'd said at the beginning of the season, I wasn't a big fan of the signing. I didn't think he would fit the mold. I said, look, for him to continue minimum double digits in both goals and assists, and then we'll talk. He has, I think, now 6 goals, 3 assists, so he's on track to get double goals and assists. He is injured now, so it's going to take, of course, a month away, or maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks max from him. But I don't think he's done enough for Barcelona to make any move to sign him permanently. I think the fact we're trying to sign him on loan is just to make Jorge Mendes happy. And if you want to have Joao Felix as part of your front line next season, then it's like, it's someone else can be sacrificed. You want to have Raphinha, you have Lamine Yamal, Ansu Fati coming back from loan, Ferran Torres, Joao Felix, and you want to sign a proper left winger. So hopefully I didn't forget anyone there, because we do have a decent amount of wingers. There's just been a lot of in and out of the team and inconsistencies and things of that nature. But I think come the summer, we won't really want Joao Felix too much. We might just try, tell him, oh, we tried to get you back on loan, but Atletico Madrid said, no, sorry, see you later. I think that's what's going to happen. But we'll wait and see. Again, with Jorge Mendes by his side, anything can happen at this point. But again, the plan is to extend his loan, which of course I agree. Spending any sort of funds on Joao Felix this summer would be an absolutely catastrophic decision. So we'll wait and see how things turn out. But again, the club do plan on keeping both the Joaos in some capacity next season. Let's now discuss the players that have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. As we all know, the club will look to sell some players on this summer to fund other operations. I think the two main names at the moment are both Andreas Christensen and Raphinha. The Football Mirror in the UK have come out saying that Barcelona have put former Premier League stars Andreas Christensen and Raphinha up for sale as they desperately look to slash their wage bill. Now, of course, you could say that the main contenders to bring in the most money are Frenkie de Jong and Araujo, but the club want to keep them. With Raphinha and Christensen, they want to keep them, of course, but they're way more open to letting them leave. More specifically, Christensen, he is straight profit for Barcelona as he did come in for free, and we do have very good center back coverage as we talked about when we talked about Mario Hermoso. I think for both these two players, I'm looking at around 60 million euros. I think especially for Raphinha, break even on your transfer with Leeds. With Christensen, I think anything above 60 would be a very fair valuation. Anything underneath that, I would be a bit disappointed. But we'll wait and see on what offers come in and who the club decide to really move on this summer. Now, one player who's pretty much guaranteed to leave at this point is Marcos Alonso, whose contract does expire at the end of the season, so he'll leave for free, no qualms, no worries whatsoever. But Jordan came out saying that Marcos Alonso could sign for Atletico Madrid in the summer once his contract with Barcelona expires. I mean, bloody hell. I tell you what, Atletico Madrid signed these 35, 37-year-olds like no tomorrow on free transfers. First Azpilicueta, now Alonso. I mean, they can bloody take him. But I'll tell you this for free. If he goes and joins Atletico Madrid, I guarantee you he will be a baller for them. Because that always happens. At Barcelona, they flop. At Atletico Madrid, they shine like no tomorrow. So I'm not expecting anything less. But if he goes to Atletico Madrid, it does not bother me whatsoever. And finally, we do have a report on the future of Marc Casado, the Barca Athletic captain. Christensen has come out saying that several La Liga teams, including Granada and Valencia, are knocking on the door of Marc Casado, who is looking for minutes and does not have the opportunities he would like. The player's contract ends in June, and the club has an automatic renewal option for 1 more year. His surrounding are now waiting for Barcelona to make a move. So with Barcelona, they're in a situation where if they renew his deal, they're going to just send him out on loan. Let's be honest. I doubt he'll be anywhere around the first team dynamics in this preseason coming up whatsoever. Or they're going to let him go for free now and cut their losses. But I think what the club will do is let him leave this summer but retain a part of his future. Sell-on clause, buyback option, percent of the future sale, whatever the case may be. We also, of course, past few summers with Xavi and Stanis Pedrola as well. I think the club will be looking to do that with Casado. So say, hey, at Granada, you can take him now for free, but we want 20% of future sale, buyback option, all this stuff, or the same thing with Valencia as well. I think that would be the most likely scenario for Casado. I wish I saw him a lot more in the first team, but if Xavi's not giving him the confidence to play minutes, there's got to be a reason behind it, so we just have to back the manager in that point. So we're going to see what happens with Casado's future at Barcelona, but I definitely think it's far, far away from Catalan. Now, one of the key positions to look forward to this summer in regards to ingoings and outgoings will be at right back. We're going to talk about a few players' futures there at the right back position. Of course, we know the club do want to sign Cancelo on a permanent basis, but who will be the other right back? That is the main question. A player it won't be is Serginho Dest, with Luis Rojo from Marca reporting that Serginho Dest will not return to Barcelona. There is a purchase clause from PSV Eindhoven, and they may activate it after his good performances, and with them and Barcelona see it as a good opportunity to make some money. So Dest unlikely to return, even though he did come out in the media a month ago saying that I will not return to Barcelona with Xavi as the manager. If Xavi's not the manager, we'll wait and see. But again, it's in the hands of PSV. If they buy him, Dest already agreed to join them with the buyback option back last summer, so there's nothing we can do. But if PSV Eindhoven don't buy him, that comes to a decision to Barcelona to put him up for sale, give him a free season, also to see what Dest wants as well. So if PSV don't buy him, it could create a situation, but for now it is expected that PSV Eindhoven will execute the option they do have to purchase him. Now, one of the right backs we've seen a lot this season, but mainly playing at left back, is Hector Ford. Now, Luis Rojo again from Marca came out saying that Ford's continuation next season depends on several factors, including Cancelo's future as well. What happens at left back even. The club trusts him, but loaning him is not ruled out. So I think with Hector Ford, it's very clear. Either he'll be part of the first team or go out on loan. I think that's 100% the correct decision. I think if he's the backup left back for Alejandro Balde next season, I will be fairly disappointed. I think if he's the backup for Joao Cancelo as well, I will be very disappointed because I have someone else eyeing that position. I think Hector Ford has done very, very well. He's impressed me a lot this season. I think this is now his time to go out and grow, get more experience, play week in, week out, not play 2 intense games and then not play for another month and a half like he has been at Barcelona recently. But again, a talented player there for sure. Now, of course, the main player at right back next season, I think the favorite right now to be the backup coverage competition for Joao Cancelo is Julian Araujo, with again Luis Rojo from Marca reporting that Barcelona is seriously considering the possibility of recovering Julian Araujo next season, who's having a great year at Las Palmas. I could not agree more on this situation. I think next season the right backs for Barcelona should be Julian Araujo and Joao Cancelo. You get the best of both worlds. You have a player like Julian Araujo who is good. You can rely upon him, and he'll definitely push Joao Cancelo to the max. You also have good enough coverage at right back for Joao Cancelo, maybe, God forbid, to go to left back if we have another injury to Balde. Maybe the other left back, whether it's Alex Bailly, Sergio Cardona, is not fully fit, whatever the case may be. I think with Julian Araujo, you get the best of both worlds. La Liga experience, very, very quick, and now that he has that stature in La Liga, we can definitely rely on him off the bench. And then, of course, Hector Ford goes out on loan. Serginho Dest gets sold to PSV. I think that is the best scenario for Barcelona. But there is one more right back we haven't talked about quite yet, and that is on Sergi Roberto. Now, Jordi Gil from Sport is moving mad. He's saying that Roberto's renewal is still on the table. Barcelona are satisfied with how he's fulfilled his role as a captain, especially in the dressing room. If next season the coach counts on him, his willingness to renew for one more season will be total. So if the new coach comes in and says, yes, keep Roberto is staying. But if the coach comes in and says, don't really need Roberto, he'll probably leave. Luis Rojo from Marca came out saying that Roberto's continuation right now is actually practically excluded. The club is not thinking about renewing his contract despite his good behavior and status as a leader. So a lot of contradictory reports around Roberto. We're hearing Gabriel Sanz saying that, oh, the club might keep him. Luis Rojo saying the club are not going to consider keeping him in any capacity whatsoever. Like I said for a million times, I'll say it again. Should have left last season with the other captains, with BK, Busi, and Jordi. I think him staying for next year, just wanted to be the captain for 1 year for Barcelona, fulfill his dream. I understand that, but especially with Xavi leaving, might as well walk away with him as well. I think there's no point in him continuing next season in any capacity whatsoever. You're going to have no chance in the midfield. We're going to have good right back coverage, and Cancelo and Julian Araujo. Where does he play? Yes, I understand he's on peanuts. He will literally just be there just to be the captain, which I think makes no sense whatsoever, especially if he's not in the starting lineup. So we'll wait and see how things turn out in the right back position, but I think it's very, very clear. I think it will be Cancelo, either between Julian Araujo and Hector Fort. If we really get a good offer for Julian Araujo, maybe, 20 million bid from a Premier League club, something like that could change the dynamics. But I think Julian Araujo, Cancelo being the fullbacks for next season at right back is a good option, with, of course, Hector Fort getting loaned, Dest being sold, and hopefully Roberto's contract not being renewed. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Just one update, and it is on the renewal of Frenkie de Jong, with Joao on his stream the other night giving us an update from the club's perspective. Joao came out saying that Frenkie de Jong has had a renewal offer on the table for weeks now. So he just confirmed Fernando Po's report from a few days ago. The club want him to respond in the coming weeks. The player must lower his salary in order to continue at Barcelona. So again, the same story now from multiple sources. I think that's now the correct state of the situation, where Barcelona want to keep Frenkie de Jong. They've offered him a new deal, I believe, until 2029, basically spreading out his current salary. It's not on Frenkie de Jong to make the decision. Now, of course, the original report, the original explosion was Luis Canu, of course, a very reliable source close to Frenkie de Jong, saying that Frenkie de Jong is unsure about his future. Again, we're not really competitive, especially in the Champions League over recent years, and he wants to have that competition, be a strong squad. But again, Joao came out saying that the noise is coming from Frenkie's campaign, from Frenkie's side. There's no campaign to get rid of Frenkie de Jong from Barcelona. It is all coming from the player side himself. So all the exit rumors are coming from Frenkie de Jong's side. So his agents, his entourage, whatever the case may be. And of course, he's correct. Luis Canu is basically relevant for knowing Frenkie de Jong and Ronald Koeman at this point. So there's nothing really surprising about that. So with Frenkie, again, the decision is in his hands. If he does not want to renew, the club will look to sell him, of course, as they should. He has 2 years left in his deal. It's now the prime time to sell him. If he does not want to continue, why keep him? But of course, if he wants to stay, then of course that is happy days for everyone. But there is now contradictory news, because Ivan San Antonio from Sport, who's a very reliable source, came out saying that Frenkie de Jong does not want to leave Barcelona. The player wants to stay, and the door is closed for him to leave, which now makes no sense. But I mean, if the door is closed and not to leave, sign the new deal. Now, finally, Frank Carras and Sport came out saying that Barcelona consider that Frenkie de Jong's wages are too high and have offered him a new deal with a salary reduction. The club want him to stay, but if he does not accept it, he may be sold to strengthen the squad. Of course, that is standard. He's now heading into the final 2 years of his deal. He's in the prime of his career. It's a prime time to sell him as well. Apparently, Barcelona won 100 million euros for him this summer. I think that's kind of outrageous. I think probably 80 is what you get, plus maybe variables. Maybe you get a 100 million euro package, but 100 million euros fixed, I think the club are pushing it quite a bit. But wait and see what happens with Frenkie. Again, the decision now is 100% in the hands of the player. If he wants to stay, I'm sure there's definitely some room to negotiate a new renewal. The renewal offer that was sent to him wasn't, the best. Maybe he can renegotiate, maybe increase some of the salary, get some bonuses, incentives in there. I'm sure that can be negotiated. But if he does not want to renew the current deal, if the current deal that's offered to him is far away from what he expects, then we're looking at a Frenkie de Jong sale this summer. Let's now discuss some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, on the quite imminent returns, hopefully. Firstly, on Joao Felix, with Frank Carras and Sport reporting that Joao Felix will probably not be ready for the first match against Napoli. It is not completely ruled out, but the coaching staff is not very optimistic about it. He is set to be back against Athletic Club on the 3rd of March, and you could basically put Ferran Torres in the same category, with Raccoon reporting that Joao Felix and Ferran Torres are definitely ruled out for the first match against Napoli. They're probably coming back afterwards. I think their returns pretty much are set for the beginning of March, which was expected for Ferran Torres, but we thought maybe Joao Felix could come back maybe end of February, maybe the games after the Napoli game. But it is a big blow. And again, they're going to be international break. I think it's in the end of March, middle of March, somewhere around there. So they'll come back for a couple of games and then head off to their countries and, of course, gain some fitness and rhythm, which is a good thing for Barcelona. Now, one player's been out for quite some time now. I don't even remember the last time he played a bloody game. That was Marcos Alonso. Of course, they had his surgery a few weeks ago. Marca reporting that Alonso is unlikely to play the first leg against Napoli. Obviously, unless a miracle occurs, don't need him anyways. While his recovery is progressing positively, there is a reluctance to rush him to return from the scheduled time to avoid the risk of a setback. He's leaving, so I don't care. If we see Alonso again this season, I will be shocked. But I know that Xavi's a big fan of the player, but I mean, he will be here for 2 years. He's done nothing. Put a masterclass at center back at the Bernabeu last season. That's it. So shout out to him for that. But all this injury news and him coming back really does not faze me whatsoever. He comes back great. Couldn't care less. Final injury update is on Araujo, who of course did not play last weekend against Granada due to some fatigue and muscle discomfort. Mundo Deportivo was reporting that after not playing a single minute in the game against Granada, Araujo did not even train on Monday either. He had a slight muscle fatigue from playing so many minutes in January and February, but he should be back for Celta Vigo on Saturday. So again, just muscle fatigue. He has been playing a lot of minutes. And keep in mind, don't forget, Araujo is a bit injury prone as well, so we want to be as careful as possible. But again, just mild discomfort there, no concrete injury. Should be back for this weekend's game against Celta Vigo. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Barcelona's search for a new manager, and we are narrowing down now to a few candidates. I'm surprised it's gotten narrowed down this quickly a few weeks after Xavi announced his resignation. But firstly, I want to discuss some of the news around Xavi as well. It's getting quite intense with the Xavi situation at the club, announcing his resignation, not still performing well, results aren't there. I first want to go through some quotes of Deco. These quotes came out after the match, like immediately after the match against Granada, but it was apparently recorded after the Villarreal game 5-3 when Xavi announced his resignation. So the quotes are a bit delayed, still important, still informational, but kind of taken out of context a little bit. Anyways, he came out saying, Deco, a new direction is fundamental and the president agrees with me on this. A change is needed. There is a method that is finished. On the new coach, we have to discover someone who will break with the past once and for all and move forwards with a new model. On the financial situation, we have a serious financial problem on our hands, and that was one of the reasons why they hired me. We don't have money for investments that our other millions of dollar clubs have, and that is discouraging for any coach. At this moment, we cannot provide these means. So these quotes are quite scary. Firstly, it looks like he wants to just abandon the Barcelona model completely, which am I opposed to? Yes, but I have no evidence to back me up. I just don't want to leave what's made me fall in love with Barcelona. I don't want to leave with what we know is our style, what we know is the way we are. And just abandoning that, for me, is just weird. But then again, it's been not successful whatsoever in recent years. So, I don't know on that. On the financial situation of the club, look, I'm hoping this is all BS. There's no way we're going to the summer with zero money again. Last summer, we only spent, what, 3 million on Romeo. We cannot go into this summer with the same situation. We need to see some sort of improvement. I mean, I think we're getting healthier. We're not spending money. We're earning a lot of revenue. What else needs to be done? Is FFP that, shite with Javier Tebas? I don't know. But following these quotes, of course, Xavi getting the draw against Granada, there's been a bit of a ropiness. Javi Miguel from AS came out saying that no one at the club now guarantees Xavi will stay until the end of the season. The defeat in the game against Napoli could result in Xavi's immediate dismissal. Bloody hell. So apparently, Joan Laporta will not sack Xavi this season under any circumstances. He can lose 20-0. Okay, man. He could lose every single game from now until the end of the season. I don't think Laporta would sack him. The only way Xavi will not be the manager come June the 30th is if Xavi walks himself, if Xavi quits. And apparently, according to Javi Miguel, if we do not pass, I don't think he means the first leg against Napoli. I think he means the tie against Napoli. If we do not progress to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, Xavi might walk. And if he does walk, Rafa Marquez will come in until the end of the season. If Xavi walks, he walks. That's his decision. I mean, it is what it is. But us sacking Xavi makes no sense whatsoever. Firstly, you're going to bring in Rafa Marquez until the end of the season. Will Rafa Marquez change anything? Probably not. You're then going to disrupt the entire system and model of the grassroots. Barca Athletic need a new manager. If they promote the Juvenile A manager, the Juvenile A is going to need a new manager. If they promote the Juvenile B manager, they're going to need a new manager. It's just too much of a circus. Of course, if Xavi walks, then fair enough. There's no point to, intensify that on your own. So I agree with Laporta about sacking Xavi unless, God forbid, 4 losses in a row, getting, battered by every single team, 4 or 5-0, then fair enough to sack him. But if we just keep, winning, draw, win, loss, win, draw, like just fluctuating, again, we're going trophyless, so it doesn't really matter whatsoever. But following the match against Granada, according to reports, Laporta was very, very angry in the director's box. According to eSport 3, he was very angry after the game in the BMA section. He was throwing sandwich trays and, making his frustration known, which fair enough to him. There were, by the way, some crazy rumors about potentially Mateo Alemán returning to the club. I think Sport came out saying that Joan Laporta tried to re-sign Mateo Alemán. He would even travel to Mallorca recently to convince him to come back to the club, but the former Barcelona director refused. But Joao Felix came down, shutting that down, saying that Barcelona denied having any meetings with Mateo Alemán for his return. I doubt Laporta would do that. He is not. What is Mateo Alemán gonna change? Yes, he has a better relationship with Xavi, you could potentially say, but what is Mateo Alemán gonna do? Yes, he's an expert in FFP. He'll help us maybe that way, but him coming back is not going to change anything immediately for this season, so it makes no sense whatsoever. But let's now get into these manager candidates. First, we'll get off with the BS one. There's been a lot of links again about Xabi Alonso. Sport came out saying that Barcelona dream of hiring Xabi Alonso to replace Xavi. The club admire his style, blah blah blah. His father used to play. It ain't gonna happen. We ain't getting Xabi Alonso hype. I mean, bloody hell, yes, he's having one good season, but we need someone, again, with experience, someone that is a good manager, someone who is a guarantee. Xabi Alonso is like a Xavi, he's like an Arteta, like a De Zerbi. Emmanuel Alguacil comes in, it's a 50-50. There is no means to do that whatsoever. But Joao Felix has finally given us the information. He has said that Barcelona have narrowed down their list of candidates for the manager position into 3 names. One of them is a Spanish manager, one of them is an Italian, and one of them is a German. And he said that the German is Hansi Flick and that the Italian is Roberto De Zerbi. Did not drop the name of who the Spanish manager was. Could be Arteta, it could be Alguacil, could be Xabi Alonso, could be Luis Enrique, but the Spain manager category is quite broad. With Germany, we already knew it was going to be Hansi Flick, and with Italy, we knew it was going to be De Zerbi. Now, in regards to those positions, it's going to be difficult, of course, for Barcelona, but Luis Rojo has come out confirming this as well, saying that Hansi Flick and Roberto De Zerbi are the 2 most prominent candidates to coach Barcelona next season. Thiago Motta and Jurgen Klopp are both ruled out due to different reasons. Thiago Motta not being experienced, and of course, Jurgen Klopp taking the sabbatical year. Now, we know that Hansi Flick and Roberto De Zerbi, 2 strong candidates, probably top 3, at least top 4. But with De Zerbi, basically impossible to get him. Mateo Morito's come out saying that Barcelona going for De Zerbi is close to impossible for Laporta due to the financial aspect of the potential deal. De Zerbi is also eager to stay in the Premier League as well. Joao Felix also added that De Zerbi is someone impossible, but he is on Barcelona's list to replace Xavi because they really like him. De Zerbi has also a 30 million euro release clause from Brighton, so in order to sign De Zerbi, we'd have to pay 30 million, and also De Zerbi is going to want some money to, invest in the squad, so it ain't going to happen whatsoever. I also think De Zerbi, yes, the philosophy is there, but it's too much of a risk in my opinion. Again, he hasn't really proven it. I think if he goes to maybe a top 8 club in the Premier League, I'd love to see him, like at a Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, somewhere around there. I think he needs to make that one more step up before coming to Barcelona. So I'm kind of happy with that, and also paying for a manager for me is ridiculous. So with De Zerbi ruled out financially, you're looking right now at Hansi Flick being the main candidate to take over Barcelona. But there is some controversy. Of course there is, man. It's Barcelona. Build in Germany. Sky Germany, I think Plettigol, also Christian Falk, they've all come out saying that Bayern Munich are considering bringing back Hansi Flick to the club, and Hansi Flick himself is open to that return. If that happens, then Thomas Tuchel would be the favorite to be the new Barcelona manager. He's always expressed his desire to coach a team in Spain. Bloody hell. Now, Joao Felix also came out talking about Hansi Flick, that in his opinion, if Hansi Flick is hired, it would be difficult for Lewandowski to leave. That is fine. I understand that, but Lewandowski, next season, if he is a Barcelona player, I swear to freaking God, he better not be selling 300,000 a week. He needs to take a salary reduction 1,000,000,000%. There is no way he's going to be a Barcelona player next season with his current salary that he's supposed to be owed for next season, which is 300,000 euros per week. Now on Tuchel, Sport reporting that Tuchel is an option to replace Xavi. He's always been tempted to coach in La Liga. If Barcelona present a convincing high-profile project, Tuchel will likely seriously consider it. Ivan San Antonio from Sport, again very reliable, saying that Tuchel is one of Barcelona's options and the club is monitoring developments in the situation at Bayern Munich. I will tell you guys this for free. Our next manager will be German. 100%. I think we're now down to Hansi Flick or Thomas Tuchel. I cannot see anyone else becoming the manager whatsoever. Of course, we're getting the worst out of the Germans. I would love to have Julian Nagelsmann, but with him coaching the Euros with Germany, it'll be too late to get him. We need our manager in by June, and June's when the Euros start. So I think Nagelsmann unfortunately misses out due to that condition. I think we're getting Hansi Flick or Tuchel. I think it kind of sucks that Bayern Munich do control a lot, because they want Hansi Flick back. They will get him, and they will sack Thomas Tuchel, and then we're going to be left with, the scraps, you could say. I don't know who Barcelona prefer over Thomas Tuchel or Hansi Flick. That's going to be the interesting question, but I think I would bet my mortgage that one of them will be the Barcelona manager. I cannot see anyone else. Luis Enrique, Arteta, Alguacil, De Zerbi, Klopp, Xabi Alonso. I don't see them. I think it will be either Hansi Flick or Thomas Tuchel. If it's neither of those two, genuinely, I would be shocked. I'll delete my YouTube channel. I am that confident that our new manager will be either Hansi Flick or Thomas Tuchel. I cannot see it being anyone else. Who do I prefer out of the two? I would say Thomas Tuchel, mainly because he's done it and he's been a bit more active and he has way more experience than Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick came in, won the sextuple, then left and did absolutely dreadfully at Germany. He's been off now for about a year, I believe, since the World Cup. He hasn't coached, so there's going to be a bit of rustiness there. And again, I wouldn't say inexperience, but there is a lack of inexperience outside of Germany. He's coached Bayern Munich and Germany. With Tuchel, he's been to the Premier League and Germany twice as well, PSG. So I would prefer Thomas Tuchel over Hansi Flick. But wait and see how things turn out. Again, it's not going to be confirmed anytime soon. I think hopefully by May, we'll have a concrete name who Barcelona want, who they'll pursue, and who they will go out and sign. But I think, we're middle of February, and I can tell you for free right now, it will definitely be a German. And I honestly think it will be between either Hansi Flick or Thomas Tuchel to be the new Barcelona manager next season. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want first, of course, is your thoughts on Rafael Leao and Joao Kimmich being the two main star signings for Barcelona this summer. Are you happy with that or not? Secondly, on the two Joaos staying past this season, are you happy with both of them staying? Would you only want one of them to stay? Maybe neither. Third, your thoughts on Frenkie de Jong's renewal. You think he will renew his contract at Barcelona? I think he will reject the renewal and then leave the club in the summer. And finally, your thoughts on the managerial search, and what your thoughts on Hansi Flick and Thomas Tuchel, in my opinion, and most likely the two main candidates right now for the position, and pretty much the favorites, I would say, at this point. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.